Welcome everybody to episode 15 of UnHacked. We are here in Nashville, live in the war room, as promised. Now, we did have a little bit of technical difficulties. We're supposed to be live streaming, but the internet here is shit, so we can't live stream. Unfortunately, you'll have to watch this a little bit later than we planned. That said, we are about to go out and talk to some of the brightest minds in the industry, or so they think, right? But real quick, let's do a quick introduction. Bryan, you want to tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you're all about?
Sure, yeah. Bryan Lachapelle with V4 Networks, based out of Niagara Falls area in Ontario, Canada. And we provide computer support to local businesses and help them fix all the frustrations with their technology.
All right, Mario.
Mario Zaki with Mastech, located in New Jersey, right outside of New York City, servicing the entire tri-state area. We help small businesses do the same thing that we've done for the last couple episodes.
And Mario's about to have a brand new car. We're going to find out tonight. We mentioned last week Mario was entering a competition. He was up on this stage right here behind me. Easily the best candidate from this unbiased opinion. All right, guys, let's take a walk. Let's go out and see what's going on in the vendor hall and talk to some of the latest, greatest, and best in the world of cybersecurity. And as always, what we're trying to do for you, the business owner, is help you sort through the mountain of recommendations, protections, policies, procedures, and everything else that you've got to do to keep your business safe and protected from the Russian hackers. I'm going to choke the Russian hackers. And, it's no small task. And as we promised, you can look at this is what we have to sort through. This is just one corner of one hall. And there's a million people out here trying to tell us that you need their stuff. Mario, do you ever get frustrated with that? Like just trying to figure out how to protect your clients when everybody here thinks that their stuff is the best, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We tend to always set up demos and try it out. We want to test it in an enclosed environment or our environment before we go live with any existing customer, so that we're not, caught with our pants down when we try to implement it.
Learn how to use my software better later. All right, guys, let's walk down. We're going to talk now. We're going to move into security. This is a vendor that I haven't worked with before, but one of the first ones that caught my attention here. So give us a second as we walk through the halls. Check out all the people. Do a little. Okay, Mario's got the camera. I am here with Mike. Mike, what's your last name?
Hornsby.
Mike Hornsby.
Yeah.
With Blockworks. I tried to pluralize it when I wrote this down.
It's difficult.
It's pluralized automatically with the X in there.
That's right.
So, Mike, what we do on our podcast is we try to, and we've kind of been wandering this hall, which just has hundreds of vendors.
Yeah.
All of them tell us that you need my stuff or you're going to go down. Russians have got you. Your bank accounts are drained.
Yeah.
And that's not only frustrating for us, but it's frustrating especially to our clients, right?
Yeah.
Our target audience.
Rightfully so.
Tell me a little bit about what you see as the most important thing as far as security is going. What's the biggest risk out there?
Sure.
How do we mitigate that without buying something like one of everything? It's like going to a bar and they ask you what drink you want. You say one of everything, right?
Right. Not everybody can swing that, right? Very few. Yeah.
I try sometimes.
Yeah, once a year, right? So, no, Justin, it's a good question. And honest answers to honest questions. We talk to a lot of partners each year that say, hey, budgets are tight, right? Like we're in a very unique market today, different than even 2018, 2019.
Oh, yeah, way different.
And I travel the country talking to people looking for some new tool or gadget, yet they still haven't enabled MFA, which costs $0, right? And so it's almost to a point where we're almost educated beyond our obedience a little bit when it comes to prevention, right? So there are things.
Why do you think? Okay, let me pause. Why do you think people aren't enabling 2FA? That's free. It's easy. It's easy-ish.
Yeah.
Why? Do you have an answer to that?
Yeah, I do. So there's, if we think about a scale, like metaphorically speaking, on the left we have accessibility, how easy it is to use or get work done. On the right we have security. A lot of people pivot these together as like Jedi and Sith, right? They're opposing forces. They're complementary, right? So like for the same reason that my mom lives in a gate-guarded community, it's a little harder to go visit her sometimes. I got to show my ID and get in. But what are we getting for that little lack of convenience? It's higher security, right?
Right.
And so if we think about them as complementary, and this is at an end user level, right? Everyday employee.
Yep.
If I can sacrifice 5 to 12 seconds every time I log in, what am I gaining in like a force multiplier of security? But most people aren't talked to that way, right? They're just said, hey, it's this or the highway,
do it. Yeah.
risk, liability, bad guys coming, right? Like, lock your door. But again, I think there's ways to communicate it better than we historically have.
Okay, so communication.
Yeah.
Education. We got to start there.
Absolutely.
And I think I kind of derailed you. So back to your product.
Good. Yeah.
Tell us again, like, what do you guys do and how do you help the end user?
Yeah, so we're the black sheep of the industry, man. Everyone else out there is talking about it's not a matter of if, but when, right? We believe that prevention's possible if you take the right proactive precautions, right? Just like heart disease can be the #1 killer in America. Yes, but there's still ways to prevent it, right? There's ways you can lower your risk. You'll never be free of risk, right? So I don't want to be...
Put a number on it. How close can you get to 100% secure?
That's a loaded question, Justin.
I mean, I always tell people 97 because that's a number that's kind of been tested.
Yeah.
Right?
And it varies by industry, right? We're seeing very much, even from the DoD side, right? We're seeing a emphasis recently on core infrastructure and being able to secure, Colonial Pipeline, right? Great example, right? Nobody really realized the cost of securing it until they went to the pump and there was no fuel, right? There are kinetic repercussions for some of these things. And so I'd say your risk can absolutely be reduced. I won't say it's ever slim to none, but for the same reason that, maybe my dad had a certain type of disease that I'm genetically inclined to get, I could still greatly reduce my risk. Okay. And that's where, how do you do that? From a technical level, you talk to your physician, right? Your MSP or your service provider and say, hey, what can I do proactively to get in front of this? And 99% of the time, there's absolutely going to be steps that you can do. Right. But we have to make that a little bit more appealing than we historically have.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions for Mike?
Not this time, no.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what caught my attention is that, and I think you said something to the effect of that you're vetting. I don't think that's the word you used, but you're like talking to the other vendors here. And tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So myself and a team of 3 to 4 engineers go through a quarterly vetting process where we essentially evaluate and demo proof of concept each of these tools, and we score them on a sense of, there are some that are more response, right of boom related, some are more prevention centric. So we're going to scale them on what is the most prevention centric in its capability, and then we wrap up management and monitoring into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of an umbrella that brings in other tools.
Correct. Yeah, we call it vendor diversity. And the reason we do that is because we believe that everybody in here is the best at something, rather than a single vendor claiming to be, or maybe saying that all you need is us. Exactly how he's opened it, right? Is no, there's going to be one that's the best at this. Is it endpoint? Is it Office 365 security? Is it firewall, right? So we go out and we believe in that simply because just like you diversify a portfolio, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. That applies from a security perspective as well.
100%, yeah. That always makes me nervous about the ones that say, hey, it's us. It's all, and I'll ask that question very pointedly. I'm all right, I hire you guys, I bring you in, I deploy your tool stack.
Right.
What am I missing? What are my gaps?
Yeah.
Nobody likes that question.
It's an honest question and it requires an honest answer. Yeah.
And they don't like the honest answer.
Right. So we
because they say we've got it covered. And then when I say it that way, I was like, well. Yeah, but so in a nutshell, we have a roadmap called the 21 Blocks. More than happy to make it available to anybody that's subscribing and listening. It's a free roadmap. Doesn't cost anything, right? So it's right on our website, blockworks.com, BLOKWORX.com/21 blocks, spelled like block, right? Okay. And it's it's just simply a roadmap of, hey, what are some controls? Think of it like a bingo card almost of, I like that.
What am I doing already so I can take inventory? But maybe what am I not doing that I can have a conversation with my IT team or admin and say, hey, we aren't doing end user awareness training. How can we do that? Right? Beautiful. But it gives them a measurable roadmap towards prevention. It exists. It's out there. So
I'm going to find that URL and I'll publish it so that they don't have to try to remember it. I love that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good place to end unless you have something else you want to add.
No, I appreciate the opportunity. And again, it's candor is needed at a time like this when it comes to security.
I'm the guy for that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
This is Cynthia. Cynthia, do you have a minute?
I do.
All right. Oh, we're live streaming a podcast. Well, actually, we were trying to live stream, but the internet here is so shitty that we can't. So we're now just recording.
Okay.
It's no longer live, but pressure's just as intense as it ever was.
Yes. You said podcast, though, so I didn't
Podcast.
redo my lipstick.
Oh, we do video on the podcast, though. I hate to tell you.
Okay. All right. Let's
Okay,
see.
yeah.
Let's see. All right. My
So I'm
hair's
going to
still
have
fluffy.
you put this, clip it on, and then
right.
this button right here, you have to push to unmute yourself.
All right. Are you
Top
ready
button.
for me?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All
All
right.
right, I'm just making
Am I-
sure
yeah?
I'm not checking you out.
No,
Okay.
fine, fine.
All right.
All
I
right.
think we're good. Can you guys hear Cynthia? Mario, you got Cynthia's
Can
audio?
you hear me?
All right. So Cynthia, we talked for a minute,
We did.
about a minute ago,
Uh-huh.
and I said that we had an episode recently, and the title was the dumbest title I've ever come up with, which was Passwords. Haven't we heard it all? Well, no. That title drew the worst downloads of my podcasting career. I've been doing it for a few
sorry.
years with different podcasts. I've never seen one fail that bad. So apparently, passwords are not a super exciting topic.
Right. Which they should be because it's like the point of entry for almost every attack.
Okay, tell me, almost every attack. Like,
Well, I mean, it's so compromised passwords, according to, I believe, is the IBM threat report, is the second most common threat vector used
okay.
to go in and breach. The first one was phishing, which most of the time phishing is just trying to get your credentials. So
Yeah, they're trying to get your password.
exactly, exactly.
So
So it is important.
the bad guy goes and they get my password. Like, how do you guys? Where do you fit into this? How do you help with? Because passwords, not only are they not exciting, but if we follow every rule, as humans, we cannot create a complex password for everything we use and remember it.
Right.
So, I mean, we could talk about password management and stuff like that, but
Sure.
that's not what you do.
Nope, it
Tell
is
me
not
how
what
you
we do.
help with this stupid problem of passwords.
Yeah, so a couple of things. First of all, you got to think about your admin passwords, right? So that standing privilege that you might have across,
Right.
your most important systems. And so we're auto-rotate those passwords so that now you don't just have this standing privilege. Everyone has, access to this admin password that's been the same for this client for 4 years. We
Wait.
actually rotate
I'm going
that
to pause
once a
you.
day.
So you're saying that some of these IT companies have one password that they use for all the endpoints that they manage, and they don't have a tool to rotate those.
Sometimes that happens. So it's
So is that a problem?
Yeah, that's a huge problem. We call that standing privilege. You don't want that. You want zero standing privilege. So really best practice is just-in-time accounts,
Right.
which allows you to spin up named admin access. So now you know if it was Doug or Frank that did this change.
Okay.
And they're only going to have access, let's say, to Active Directory for this one client for 25 minutes. And then it's going to shut down. And
Yeah.
now it is not standing privilege. It is zero standing privilege. The other big thing that we do is ID verification. So when someone calls into the help desk and says, "Hi, I'm Bob. I need to change my password."
Can't log in. It says wrong password. That never
How
happens,
do you know
though.
that Bob is Bob, right?
Ooh.
So let's
Okay, so you're going to want to talk about the MGM. Sorry, go on.
Yeah,
Go on.
MGM, yeah. Mhm.
And maybe I'm not going to say anything about our current venue. Go on.
Well, yeah, we haven't heard for sure
We don't know
how
anything
that
yet.
happened. But yeah, with the MGM thing, right? Like your help desk, they want to be helpful. You pay them to be helpful and to be nice. All it takes is a little bit of distraction. Someone sounds enough like Bob, and now you've changed the password for the wrong person, and this bad actor has gotten in. So, but
Right.
if you had sent them over a code via text, email, or end user app, then
Right.
now this person is like, bad service. I gotta go back.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't happen. So that's how we're helping
Okay.
you.
Okay. So I'm hearing two problems. One is for us. Now this is an
Oh,
interesting
I got
thing.
another problem myself.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So password reset tickets is like the bane of most help desk systems.
Oh, we hate those.
Right?
Yes.
So we're going to actually help cut down on the amount of time it takes to close a password reset ticket and also the number of password reset tickets because we have a self-service app.
They can reset their own.
And they can reset their own.
Well-
And it opens like your banking app does, like with biometrics. So again, you're verifying that identity before it gets changed.
But listen,
Okay.
our end users, they like to get locked out and they love when they have to call us
Yes.
and wait for us to call them back so that
Right.
they can get into their system. So that's not
So-
really a perk.
Except now when they call, the tech can actually do everything within the ticket and they're not having to go and log into something else, right?
Okay.
They're doing it right there. So we can cut down on the amount of time. I think the average password reset ticket takes about 20 minutes to
Before
get
your product or after?
before, and we
Okay.
can cut that down in half.
At least,
or it's
right?
10 to 5, or but at least in half.
Yeah.
And so now a couple of things, right? So everything happened in the ticket. It happened faster. And you're going to be able to show in the ticket, hey, I verified their identity before I did this. So you're helping with your compliance and, you know.
This is a lot of
saving
problems.
your ass.
Yeah.
You told me to
Oh, you can swear.
I did it.
Swear like a sailor. These guys don't. I can't ever get them to swear. I always try. And I
feels so good.
We'll bring them around. Okay, so it is not a family show. No. We've got an issue where I want to zero in on this just for a second.
Okay.
We have talked before about how the IT world, us, IT providers, cybersecurity experts, we can all say that about ourselves with no credentials, no training, no certification. So we could have IT vendors, security experts who are out there doing what you said, putting out passwords, probably the same password on every computer, which is hundreds or thousands that they manage. An employee leaves, guess what?
Yeah.
We got to walk around to every computer and reset that password, the local admin password.
You need a magic button.
You need, and you're the magic button.
I have a magic button.
And without this, I'm going to theorize that a lot of those passwords don't ever get changed.
Well, right. And then, so you have to let a tech go. They leave with their, post-it note of anger. And now you're up half the night trying to decide, okay, God, which admin access, could they have maybe had the password for? Or you have QGuard. You pop in there, you hit the button, boom.
And they're gone.
All done.
I love that. Okay. So you make our lives easier.
I do.
You make the client's life easier because they don't have to have those really exciting phone calls with us saying, hey, I can't get into my system. Oh, sorry, I'll have somebody call you back here in 20 minutes or whatever it is.
And we're SOC 2 Type 2 certified.
Okay. That doesn't mean anything to my end users.
But it probably means something to you.
It does mean something to me, yes.
You said, hey, all these IT vendors, maybe they, aren't certified or this or that.
Oh, there is certification on your end.
We are SOC 2 Type 2 certified. We had a VP of cybersecurity that came from Datto, actually.
Real quick,
amazing. We do internal pen testing and external pen testing.
Okay.
We take a lot of time to make sure that the product that we're offering is secure.
Which I would hope so, because this is a big one if it got hit, right? This will be a problem. But SOC 2 Type 2, just for talking to people who know nothing about technology, what does that mean?
It means that we did a lot of things to get a security certificate.
Okay, so somebody else had to come in and audit you, basically.
We have to, it's a lot of auditing.
You self-audit, but somebody has to check your work.
Yes,
and then they sign off on it, but they're a third party, an outsider.
And there's a type 1, and then you get your 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of work to keep it, too, right?
Correct.
You can get it, but then you got to keep it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, anything for Cynthia?
It is Cynthia, right?
So
it is Cynthia.
It sounds like we can get AI to create a voice that disguise the user and call in for a password reset. We can use that.
Yep. So we're going to help you with the the robocalling and the spoofing and all of that.
Mingle all the vendors together.
I think so. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
I'm going to have you push that top button again to mute it. Pop that thing right off of your shirt so I don't have to get too handsy. All right.
Thanks.
We're on to our next vendor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, guys, let's roll now. Okay, so one thing that Cynthia said is that breached passwords is the second largest way that people get in, that attacks happen.
Right.
So phishing is the number one. Phishing is, I don't know, I've been talking too much. Mario, you're not talking as much as me. Talk about phishing. What is phishing and why is it a problem?
So phishing essentially is all those spam emails that everybody's getting that, either pretends like it's a Microsoft password that needs to be reset or an account that's expiring. Pretty much something that if somebody's putting out bait out there and waiting for somebody to take the bait and click on a link, and then, once they click on that link, sometimes they either have to enter a password or sometimes they don't have to enter a password. And essentially, if you do, they will have access to all your stuff, and then they can take all your information or essentially send out emails on your behalf.
All right. So one of the fun things that I'm learning about this software we're all on different phones, but close together as you're talking, but I don't really know what you said. So I'm going to say that Mario did a great job, but I don't know. We'll find out later. But what we're going to do now is we're going to talk to a company whose job is to keep us educated, to keep us smart enough so that we don't get breached by these phishing attacks. Oh, okay.
Yay.
You're live, guys. This is Kelsey with, tell us real quick, just give me like a 5-second introduction on the company.
Yeah, so I am with Infima Cybersecurity. We are security awareness training built for the channel, by the channel, and our onboarding process is really smooth and effective. It can be done in just 3 clicks, so that is the threes everywhere, and we're really happy to be here.
Do you, when you say you do end user education, do you also do phishing simulation tests or no?
Yes,
You do?
there are
Okay.
phishing simulation
So
tests.
before you go into that, we were just talking to the people down there. I think you've met that vendor before. They do password resets and stuff like that.
I am a little familiar with that.
So one of the things that she mentioned is that the top 2 ways that breaches happen, the number 2 is passwords getting breached. But number 1, do you know what the answer is?
I'm going to go with the human element of it all.
She specifically said phishing, but yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, okay, do you do phishing simulation? Because that's number 1.
Yeah.
Which is tied in with education. It's really the same thing.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about why that training is so important, what it looks like, what it means to the end user, and how we get past the problem that we all face, which is nobody wants one more goddamn thing to do in a day.
Nobody wants one more thing to do in the day, but unfortunately, no matter how many great tools and how many great practices you put in place, the human element is always going to be the weakest link. You know,
It is.
I mean,
100%. Yeah.
none of us are perfect people. We're not robots. There's a reason, you know, like
Yeah.
we are who we are. So this tool is actually built on behavioral science, an attempt to actually educate your end users into actually learning what to look for and how to respond appropriately. Because hackers are only getting better. AI is making their lives so much easier.
Yeah.
And we are so much more vulnerable than we've ever been.
Right. Okay. Brian, Mario, do you guys have any questions for Kelsey?
So you keep hackers out, right?
Well,
That's the deal. I've got a question for you.
not today, hacker.
I've got one for you.
Okay.
Did you hear about the cyber criminal that got away?
No.
Yeah, he ran somewhere.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's rough, guys. That must be time to wrap things up.
That's my wrap-up music. Wow, wow.
Funny thing is, I've heard it once before.
Yeah.
And still laughed.
I've not heard that one. I will
That's my
have to use
stage
that.
joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've kind of covered the tool set that we need as IT providers, vendors, or support people, whatever. I'm blanking.
We're all people.
This, though, I used to run a whole series of live seminars before COVID, and it was titled The Human Element of Cybersecurity. And we were really pushing the training. But I will just say again, the main problem I face is nobody wanted to do that training. So yours is a little bit more engaging, entertaining.
Yeah, it's built based on how we learn, you know.
Okay.
There were researchers involved, and it is actually really cool, very effective. Also, it's a necessary evil.
It is.
Cyber insurance requirements.
We have to do it anyways. Yeah. What I would tell as I was presenting this is, like, you can't just force people to do it. You've got to show them.
Yeah.
Because the biggest problem is the guys at the top never want to do it. They
Right.
want to make their minions do it, but they won't do it themselves. So, all right. Any final words?
No, I think that's all I've got.
All right. Thank you so
Groovy,
much. Click your little mute button at the top, and then pull that thing off there so I don't have to get too handsy. That's my joke. That's not really a
I
joke, but
appreciate
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap this up because, well, our arms are getting tired, and also my battery's dying. I know. We're going to wrap up with our last one. So when we wrap up the podcast, we always talk about a vulnerability assessment, a scan that we will give you for free. We're going to go talk to the people. This is a third-party vendor that we've been using for quite a while. They're the ones that actually do this scan for us. So as we like to say, or we mention a lot, we're unregulated. There's nobody telling you, no way to prove that we know what we're doing. So what I do, what Mario does, what Brian does, of our own free will and choice, is we go out and we hire a company to audit our work. Because, yes, we could do this without any third-party reviews, but I don't want that risk. I don't want that responsibility. So we bring in a team of experts that all they do is run vulnerability assessments. And I think Miss Jennifer calls it something else. But here we go. Before you talk, you're going to clip this on. There's a button right here at the very top that you push. That's mute. So clip it on your shirt. Push the button.
Press the mute button now.
Now put it on your shirt first. Oh, you got it? Oh, okay. I might have been pushing the wrong button. I do that sometimes.
You pushed all my buttons.
Do you know how to work this? Faster, faster, faster. Okay.
Are you live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Well, so I'm not trying to get handsy.
No.
It's a running joke I tell everybody. Okay, so.
That's what you say to all the girls.
I do. Anyways, be careful. My girl's walking right now. Jennifer is with. Well, you know what? You tell me who you're with and, like, real quickly what you do.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start asking you some questions.
Sure. I'm Jennifer Pierce with Galactic Advisors. We provide third-party cybersecurity assessments for you to be able to offer. So for an MSP, to be able to offer to your clients to help your businesses grow and keep everyone safe.
So when I first approached you about doing this, I'm trying to remember what I asked, but you came back with an answer that I absolutely loved. Do you remember what it was?
Well, you asked me what I thought the biggest problem was out there right now.
That's what I asked.
And I said, well, I think it is what I always think it is, the unknown unknowns.
Right.
How do you find something that you don't know what you're looking for? And what is an MSP to do about that? And how can clients stay safe when they don't even know what they're looking for? And the answer is third-party cybersecurity assessments.
Why can't I just do it myself, though?
Well,
I'm at least as smart as you, I think. Man.
Oh, no, you're way smarter than me. But here's the problem. When you're talking to your clients and you're telling them, hey, you know, you need this thing from me. You need it. Yeah, you're just saying that because I need it. But if you get a neutral third party with national experience, the experts, to come in and do the test, and they validate everything you've been saying, instantly you've built that rapport, and they can trust. They've seen it demonstrated that they can trust everything you're telling them. So you build that trust in you, and you become the expert executive consultant instead of, well, you know, I hear what you're saying, but
I went to this trade show once and I talked to some vendors, and now I'm solid.
Good. If something happens, I'll call you like you're their IT janitor to clean up their mess. That is not what you want to be. You want to be the trusted advisor, and we're the people to get you there. The sales process that we have actually shows your client how much they need you.
It does.
How much you can change their life.
Right.
And protect that business they've spent so much of their life growing, and that you're their partner to help them get there. And this is scalable because it's fast, it's easy. We do the work for you. Simple link to click that works just like reality.
Phishing. So we were just talking about phishing, right? You get the email, you click the link, boom. So that's what you do. We send them an email with your link in it that they click.
Just like reality. And if they think they're not susceptible to phishing,
now they know.
Great. Do you ever open an invoice? Because hackers could put some code buried in there that you
with an obvious link that
see the difference.
Oh,
it looks like a regular invoice you get every month, and it's safe to pay. Of course,
you don't have to click anything.
They click the invoice to open it, and they would look at it, so it replicates reality. They definitely are going to open invoices every month, so you've got them. We're not accusing them of clicking kitten pictures here. We're saying we know you're safe. We know you care about security. But even so, as good as your people are, they open an invoice that's trusted. And if it has that code on it, would you still be protected? Would you like to find out?
That's the key right there.
Because I can offer you a safe way to find out if your security is going to protect you like you hope it would.
Right.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would love to know that. And that's actually why we use you guys, because I think I'm pretty smart. I do.
You are.
We do all this. We're studying it. We're researching it. We're talking to vendors. We're talking to other experts. But in the end, I still want somebody looking over my back.
That's right. We got to make sure that business you're building is staying safe.
I want mine safe. I want my client's business to stay safe. So
absolutely. And we're here for you.
All right. All right. That's what I love. Guys, any questions for Jennifer? Brian's out. Mario's out. You guys, you got to up your energy level or something.
Not only can we use this for prospects, but we can use this for existing customers on an ongoing basis.
And internally for us, right? That's why I love it.
Yeah. I mean, can you think of any client that isn't getting everything you told them they need? Just one or two or 300 or 400 people that
I can tell you have clients, where we tell them you need this, this, and this.
And they're like,
yeah, they don't want to do it. They don't want to spend the money.
So show them.
Right. We can show them the report.
What's
Luckily,
going on in there that they actually need you.
do you know a lot of times we run this report and it comes back and says everything's great? I'm kidding. The report's usually about 150 pages long that we get to sort through.
It proves they need you.
And it puts us to work. So
It also clarifies what's your job and what's not your job. What are they paying for? They think I give you money, I should never have a problem
Correct.
again. That's not reality.
No, it's not.
They're paying you for a certain amount of services. They need to know what those things are, what falls outside that range, what should be charged as a compliance, and we even have compliance enablement. So if they need that, you should be making money. Don't do those things for free. No one else would.
Shh, don't tell them that we're making money. They don't want to know that. All right. Guys, we're going to wrap up because A, we're over time. B, Brian's arm is really tired. And C, my battery's dying on my phone. But hopefully there's been some value in this today. As we sign off every week, this is what we're selling, right? Well, not you directly, but maybe do you come out and do them yourself?
Absolutely need to know that our partners like you are out there to help protect what you've built, to make sure everything you've got is going to stay absolutely safe and protected. And this is the way to do it. Thank you so much for what you're doing in the community and bringing, more safety to more people.
My favorite thing to do is fight Russian crime rings.
We're all about helping to protect 1 million people.
That's your mission statement. I love
Absolutely.
it. All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Go ahead and hit that top button again, you want me to do it?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I thought you had an MSP channel. Sorry.
Oh, no.
It's specified. Wait, but it's live or you edit it?
We'll edit this.
Good. Just edit that part right now.
Gotcha.
We won't talk about the complaint.
Hey, listen, this is behind the scenes, so we're still talking here to Jennifer. She thought we were somebody else. But listen, we're not, what did you say, the MSP channel?
Yeah, because they need to listen to what your message is. What you've got to say is
They do.
so
Well, go
important.
tell them that you just did this whole thing that they need to hear and tell them to reach out to us on the UnHacked podcast. All right, guys, peace out. See you next time.